Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of Movie Talk. This week's movie is part of a trilogy that I absolutely love, and it's actually the second part of the trilogy. And that movie is Back to the Future Part 2. Picking up precisely where they left off, Marty and Doc launch themselves into the year 2015 to fine-tune the future and inadvertently disrupt the space-time continuum. Now, their only chance to fix the present is by going back to 1955 all over again before it's too late. Okay, highlights of the movie. This movie was made back in 1989, so 4 years after the original movie, and is a science fiction film, and the follow-up to Back to the Future. It is also the second in the trilogy, the first being, of course, Back to the Future, and the third being Back to the Future Part 3. Okay, things I liked about this episode. First off, this is one of my favorite trilogies. This, The Lord of the Rings, and the original Star Wars trilogy are probably my top 3 favorite movie trilogies. Well, and the Neverending Story as well. I absolutely love them. I could sit and watch them constantly. I never get tired of watching them. So, of course, this movie being part of that trilogy gets some bonus points for that. Second, I like the storyline. This movie was not only a lot of fun to watch, but I bet it was a lot of fun to make, too. Because this movie, unlike the first one where Marty goes back in time to 1955, and he spends the majority of his time in 1955 because he has to wait for a lightning strike that'll take him back to 1985, in this movie, they're kind of bouncing around. They start off in 1985, and then they jump to 2015. Then they jump to an alternate 1985 before they finally jump back to 1955 all over again. So they're all over the place. And what I kind of liked about it is that while the parts that take place in not only 1955 or 1985 and the alternate 1985, but also in 1955 kind of have to be set in what's going on, although the alternate one is a little more loosely based. The part that takes place in 2015, even though we know that is not at all how things were, was a little more, they could have a little more fun with and make it a little more futuristic because, it is supposed to be the future. It was 30 years in the future. So, I did like the future scene. I really, really loved that part of the movie. Again, even though it had nothing that really was in that future scene, the flying cars, the thumbprint entries, the thumb scanners, and everything, are not as commonplace, or were as commonplace then as they appeared to be in the movie. So the hoverboards and all that. I mean, they weren't very commonplace. Some of them didn't even actually exist. But that didn't mean that seeing the future movie, and even now, with it being 2023, looking back and watching this movie, it's still fun to see that future scene. So I did like that. I like the characters. The characters that take place that live in the different timelines and have no idea that the time is being disrupted, that there's visitors from a different time there. And then, Marty and Doc are great characters as well. They're the main characters of the whole trilogy. Were great. And then all that. So the characters were really good too. Okay, speaking of characters, we are on the cast now. Unfortunately, I only did 3, the 2 main characters, Marty and Doc, and then the main villain, Biff Tannen. There were more characters, it's just that some of them were not in the movie very long. So rather than focus on every single character in the movie, like I did, I believe, last time, I just focused on the main 3. Also, keep in mind that the actor who played Marty also played the role of both of his children in the future scenes. Okay, feel free to check out my other videos. First off, a quick reminder on my comment rules. Number 1, no mean comments. Number 2, no bad or curse words in comments. Number 3, I'm not opposed to debates, but please keep it civil. And finally, be respectful to me and each other. Okay, please leave your comments and questions in the comments section. I do love to read those. Also, feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I do have my name for those 4 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. And the links for any sites I mentioned will be in the description section. Okay, YouTube subscribers. Any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Facebook friends. Basically the same deal. Any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. And to anyone who's interested, you can feel free to check out my Facebook group, Fanfic Corner. Okay, please like and share if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.